Joined by Mr. Vernon Hamilton, all-time steals leader at Clemson. So, Vernon, thanks for being with us. We appreciate you taking some time this afternoon.
Definitely. Thanks for having me.
Oh, you're welcome. And let's just talk about your career at Clemson, playing under Coach Oliver Purnell here and all-time steals leader. Just talk about some of the memories you have being a Clemson Tiger.
Well, I can definitely say it was the best 4 years of my life. I'm very happy that I made the decision to go to Clemson University, and I really enjoyed my 4 years playing underneath Coach Purnell. I had a good group of guys around me that really helped me become the all-time steal leader. They helped make that job pretty easy. You have guys to protect you behind you like Trevor Booker and James Mays, and other strong guards like Cliff Hammonds and Casey Rivers. So it was a great experience, and I have nothing but great memories from my time there.
And just looking back on it, just talk a little to the listeners about some of the top games you had over in Little John. Some of the best memories of the best wins you had here at Clemson.
Well, one of the games that still stands out the most to me was when I broke the career single season record at Clemson against Georgia Tech. We were able to get a win that night. I actually still have the basketball from that game. And I had some good performances over at Duke. I hit a big shot over there at Cameron Indoor. Somehow we managed to get robbed. Some of it was due to the clock, but, also a good home game against Duke, good game against Wake Forest. And I was able to put up some pretty good numbers in some big games. And those games, a lot of those we were able to win.
Right. And talk about the 06 NIT, the finals, and what kind of memories that brings back for you, and what kind of run that team made.
It was, to start the season on 18-0 like that and really be the last undefeated team in college basketball, I think is, something else that I'll always remember. And just to be able to have the opportunity to play in Madison Square Garden, to win the first round against Air Force and take it on. We also beat Syracuse that year, which was a really big win, and Ole Miss. So there's some really nice non-conference wins to get to the NIT championship. Unfortunately, we fell just a little short against West Virginia, but we put up a good run there. And, who wouldn't want to play on, in the Garden on Madison Square?
That was an incredible 18-0 run that you guys had. And just talk a little bit about Oliver Purnell and the influence he had on you being the coach here at Clemson. And just talk about, are you still stay in contact with him a good bit?
Yeah, I actually had a chance to speak to Coach Purnell earlier this summer. We had a conversation, and, he was telling me a little about what was going on at DePaul. And he thought that he was getting that recruiting class in now to kind of turn things around there. And, playing Coach Purnell was a very defensive-minded coach. If you didn't play defense, you weren't going to stay on the floor. And, I found a way, obviously, to incorporate that along with some of the other things I was capable of doing and, really, push guys. So, Coach Purnell, he taught me a lot in my 4 years there. And, I was also able to pick up a couple more things once I got to the pro level.
Yeah, Vernon, you were a guy that stayed for 4 years, like you said. It's important for teams to be able to bring back people for their upperclassmen years. What do you think is the impact of the kind of the one-and-done culture that is big in the NCAAs right now?
Well, in the beginning, I thought that it was good because, it made guys get to college and actually be able to have the opportunity to see what it's like to be on that type of stage, before going to the NBA, and also just having that college experience. It was one thing to play at the next level and be able to travel and have the luxuries of what they make financially, but also being in college and just having people who really truly support you walking across campus and people telling you they can't wait for the game tonight. People camping out for tickets. Just a certain atmosphere that college provides that you're not quite able to get at the professional level. But I think that it's unfortunate for a lot of programs because guys just go for 1 year and then go into the NBA. So, I have mixed feelings about it. I know that, it's an opportunity that may not always be there. You can get injured, you may not have good a second season, but, right now I think that it would be better if they changed their policy and they got literally 2 years in college. I think that would be much better than just one. Because it almost messes up the program. Because some of these coaches now just recruit just one and done.
Right, it really does. And Vernon, talk a little bit about, Little John Coliseum, voted one of the toughest places to play in the ACC when it's sold out. And how important that was to you guys when you made that 18-0 run to see the stands and the students pack out the place. And And like we say here every week, they feed off the energy, and that's how they beat Duke this year, I believe, and how important that is to get people out there and get behind the team.
Absolutely. It makes all the difference in the world. Just being able to get motivated and run out the tunnel and, see Little John just packed. And then, everybody's just like, see, hell. It's so alive in there in the atmosphere. It just generates that type of excitement and it makes you just want to play to your best ability. So all those Clemson fans out there, appreciate all the support during the time that I was there and keep fighting for those guys and keep cheering them on because it's going to be the difference. If to get a win like against Duke this year, it was because you had 18,000 fans at Little John Coliseum behind you.
Yeah, I fully agree with you. I go to all the games. I'm usually on the front row, and I usually don't have a voice the next day. But I go to all the games. I'm really loud. I like to think of myself as a big fan, and it's really awesome when that place is crowded and it's loud. And I agree with you. The players really they feed off that energy. They get motivated when they see the people there. But, Vernon, you were a great athlete in high school, college, and, obviously you still are, but in high school, all-state in football and basketball. So what was in your decision process to come play basketball here at Clemson? Did you have football offers from other places? And who else was offering you for basketball? And what really was the most attractive aspect of coming to play at Clemson?
Well, I actually had more football scholarships than basketball. I actually got a football scholarship before I got a basketball one. And then, I always knew I wanted to play in the ACC. That was the deciding factor for me. Chris Paul had signed, Raymond Felton, Jared Jack, John Gilchrist, and all these guys that were ACC point guards have had solid careers in the NBA. So I knew it was for the best competition was to go to the ACC. And I wanted to be matched up against those guys and play against them. And as far as the football, I had some pretty big football offers. Notre Dame actually came and sat down in my athletic director's office and just kind of begged me to come there and play football. And I actually, had 4 touchdowns as a receiver at halftime and left to take my visit to Clemson. And Coach Shia came and picked me up and flew down to Clemson. And, just the atmosphere on the campus, it was such a beautiful campus. And I really liked Coach Shia a lot. He did a really great job as far as recruiting me and really helped convince me that, Clemson would be such a great start. And just between actually even graduating from Clemson and some of the love that I received from the alumni, when I see people out and I tell them that I went to Clemson and they went there, it's just like being part of like a fraternity. It's a great school academically, so it just provided everything that I needed as far as academics and athletics.
Right, and Vernon, talk a little bit about your career in the NBA, playing for the Pistons and the Cavaliers, and how that experience was for you.
They were both great experiences. So to be in Cleveland in 2008, 2009 with LeBron's last season there, and just to be able to see how much work he puts in, and to be able to be with those guys, day in, day out. I didn't finish the season with them, but to be able to start with them from the beginning, get through to the point that I was with the team, I learned a lot. And playing at the next level, it requires a lot of time. In college you're able to go to school, and you have classes to take up some of your day. At the next level, you have to really put a lot of time. So that was a great experience. Being able to go to Detroit in 2011, underneath John Custer, as well. So Detroit was, was a little different experience than Cleveland. And unfortunately we were struggling in Cleveland. We were able to win the East, and Detroit was the complete opposite. So I got 2 polar opposites playing between Cleveland and Detroit. But, I had a good friend, Ben Wallace, who's from the Richmond, Virginia area as well, who really was a mentor and a big brother to me, both in Cleveland and Detroit.
Yeah, what an incredible experience to play with a player on the caliber of LeBron James. So where do you think he ranks among all-time great players? Is he ahead of Jordan, or is he behind KD right now?
Oh, it's funny. I definitely think he's ahead of Kevin Durant. I think he's proven himself. I'm a little biased because, me and LeBron, we are still friends. I actually went to the Miami Heat OKC game back on January 28th. Got a chance to catch up with him. And, that day, KD definitely got the best of him. And last night, LeBron got the best of KD. So I'm just happy that this era right now, we have 2 great players like the both of them that can provide that Jordan Bird, the Magic Bird type matchups now that people really crowd around and get together to watch basketball. I'm not going to quite put him ahead of George, but I think if he can finish with 6 rings, 6 MVPs, then I think it's an argument. But Michael's still Michael.
Right, and Vernon, tell the listeners a little bit about what you're doing now, and are you still in the South Carolina area, and after you moved over from the NBA?
I've actually, I live down in Atlanta, Georgia now. I'm currently here in Atlanta, and I've gotten back to Clemson twice now for a basketball game, and I'm going to try and attend the Georgia Tech one tomorrow. And, right now I just had surgery back in October. Unfortunately, I was when I was playing overseas, I had to have microfracture surgery on my right knee, so I just damaged a little bit of the cartilage. So, I'm rehabbing, and I'm feeling good. My physical therapist is actually Christine Papanak. She played on the girls and the women's team at Clemson University. So I stay close with my Clemson ties, and she's got me feeling better than ever. And I have a couple offers now, and I'm about 95%. So by the end of by the middle of March, I should be back on the court.
Well, that's great news. And being from Virginia, you friends with Taj Boyd?
No, I hadn't get it. It was a little bit ahead of time.
Yeah, right.
But I've enjoyed watching him and Sammy and those guys.
Right.
It's just an exciting time at Clemson University right now.
Right, and right. And
any recruits that are out there listening, it is the place to be.
And talk a little bit about, before we let you get out, the Brown now and the job you think he's done here at Clemson. Do you think he's the right man for the job?
I was really impressed with Coach Vernon, what he was able to do this season. I thought the guys got off to a really strong start. The Notre Dame game was, a heartbreaker to go into double overtime and lose, kind of the way that they did. But, I think that if he finishes the ACC out strong and can get some wins in the conference, that I think the guys, they played well enough that I think that, that they should get a good, look at the NCAA tournament. So, I know right now, I'm not sure about the recruiting class that he has coming in, but I know the guys that he has. I know he has a tough decision ahead of him with KJ McDaniels, who's playing extremely well right now. And I think that they're starting to play together as a team. So, as of right now, Coach Brownell, I'm happy, about what he's done over there and the guys he's brought in.
Yeah, I think Brownell's a great coach, really one of the best defensive minds in the country. And I was listening to some sportscasters talk about him head-to-head with Roy Williams, and they actually said that Brownell's a better X's and O's guy than Roy Williams. And you beat me to the punch. I was going to ask you about KJ McDaniels. Give us a few more thoughts. Go into some more detail about what you think about him and whether he has a good NBA future ahead of him.
I actually had the chance this summer. I went up to Clemson, and I got a chance to meet with KJ, and I just, talked to him, and we went and grabbed lunch. I just had a chance to really get to know him as a person better. And, just from evaluating his game, he's definitely improved. I think he's playing with that confidence right now. And I mean, he's just an athlete, man. He's like a freak of nature. Like some of the things he's able to do, and sometimes I look at his stats, and he has like 7 blocks. I'm like, at like a shooting guard, small forward position, I'm just like, wow. And I think that with his athleticism, and I think that once he becomes a little bit more polished, that he'll really excel at the next level. I mean, he's definitely a guy who's capable of playing in the NBA for sure. He has the athleticism, and it's just a couple things left for him to polish up, and I think that he'll have a nice role at the next level.
Right, completely agree with that. And you see the same going all the way to the NCAA? You think they can make it with finishing out strong here?
It's gonna be tough. This game here at Georgia Tech is very important, in order to get another conference win. And then in the ACC tournament, it's definitely gonna require 2 to 3 wins, easily. But if they're able to finish out strong and get 2 or 3 wins, I think that they can get into the NCAA tournament. And I know that if they get into the NIT, they'll go far.
I think any kind of postseason would be an accomplishment for this team with the expectations that some of the critics had for them, battling through some adversity and, having a real team-type mentality. And but, Vernon, we really appreciate the time this afternoon, and it's been an honor and a privilege having you on, the all-time steals leader at Clemson. And good luck to you rehabbing and in your future. And cheer on the Tigers hard tomorrow, as they battle the Yellow Jackets. We whipped up them pretty good in football. Hopefully we'll sweep them in basketball.
We sure did. Absolutely. I hope so, too. And, as you said before, anything postseason for these guys is definitely a major accomplishment after, were kind of what they were expected in the early preseason to finish. And I really enjoyed my time, guys. I'd love to be on any time. And,
Oh, you're more than welcome anytime, but
thank you so much.
Yeah, Vernon, thank you so much for joining us. That was a pleasure. You're a great guest who really knows a lot about basketball, and Clemson faithful will always cheer on the Tigers, so we definitely want to get you back on maybe after the NCAA tournament, break down some of the games, and in March, hopefully we'll talk about a deep Clemson Tigers run.
Absolutely. Definitely. Thank you. I look forward to it.
all right, thanks, Vernon, and go Tigers. So that's Vernon Hamilton, the all-time steals leader at Clemson.